One of the major problems is that maybe the operator or the ATO cannot rely on the result of the instructor. If you don't go to a doctor, you won't get information that you are sick.
Frank, what are the current shortfalls that you observe with instructor concordance, instructor standardization? Where do you see, that things need to be improved within the industry?
Yeah, so at the moment, of course, instructor concordance is a very present word in the aviation world, and especially in CBTA and EBT programs, their instructor concordance is a regulative requirement, and therefore the airlines dealing with EBT, they do all or have to do instructor concordance. But we made a research about, we had a sample about 2,600 instructors, and we evaluated if those instructors were able to identify a training need out of a situation they saw in a video. So they just had to evaluate, is there a training need for this pilot or not? So they don't have to identify in which competency, so just ready for the next step or not. And and we revealed that only 67.7% of the instructors were able to say, okay, that's they have a training need and they need further training, and the rest wasn't. So and therefore we see also in other training systems that are just using maybe a pass-fail in the legacy system, or maybe using some furthermore like unsatisfactory, satisfactory, so just maybe a binary result, that they are also having maybe a problem with instructor concordance, so that they cannot rely on what the instructors really evaluate. Yeah, that's a major issue, I think, at the moment.
Was that, those results, were there a surprise? Did you expect a higher number of instructors to be able to identify the need?
Actually, yes, we expected that the number would have been larger, because those instructors have been standardized several years. So, and every company, despite if you're an ATO or an airline, does a lot of instructor standardization training and a lot of efforts in standardizing, hopefully a lot of efforts in standardizing their instructors. And so therefore the number is more on the lower side.
From the analysis that you've done, where are the shortfalls and what can be done to improve these results that you mentioned?
Yeah, I think one of the major problems is that maybe the operator or the ATO cannot rely on the result of the instructor. So, and of course it's a safety issue, because if they say, yeah, you can go flying on the next day, and this pilot actually had a training deficit and should train prior the next line flight, for example, those pilots, it's a safety issue if they keep on flying. And so what can you do to improve your instructor concordance? Of course, you can standardize them. You can train with them, continuously train in a recurrent training program with the instructors to improve their reliable and valid gradings.
Okay. What are some of the solutions that you are able to offer to alleviate this requirement?
Yeah, so first of all, the most important thing is that you compare standardized material, because they should watch all the same material, your instructor group, because otherwise you cannot really evaluate was it a good or a bad performance. You need a standard for this standardized material, so the operator should set a standard. And with this standard, then we can analyze in which competencies do the instructors have problems in evaluating correctly, and in which competencies do they perform well. And so one shortfall here is that some company or a lot of companies do this, and they just do it in one meeting. They watch a video, they directly discuss the video, the results of the video, but at this moment they don't know how the other instructors of the company would have graded. So it's not really then the key that they maybe found, and therefore we highly recommend to use one instructor meeting where you just watch a video, or they can even watch it at home, it doesn't matter. Yeah? Then you collect the data, we analyze the data, and with the results, with the insights, on the next instructor meeting, then you can discuss and really focus on the competencies where the instructors maybe had some problems in. And then you can, of course, also encourage them in saying, okay, in those competencies you performed pretty well in finding exactly the right gradings.
Interesting, Frank. You mentioned organizations could be resistant sometimes in adopting instructor standardization. Why would that be the case?
So I think the only fear they might have is the result. So, or the results. Of course, if you don't go to a doctor, you won't get the information that you are sick. And so if you get the results, maybe you see something that you might have expected already, but maybe you will get something like a surprise, and then and then you have something to work on.
Right.
Yeah. So, of course, there is a lot of work to do with instructor standardization. Of course, it has to be renewed, and you are getting new instructors into your company.
Right.
Some olds are leaving the company, and so therefore it's a continuous process where you have to put a lot of effort in.
Frank, if you could give us some insights with some of the work you've done with customers, with clients, and what have been the outcomes of these interventions of your company with your market and clients.
Yeah, our clients usually they are really interested in Instructor Concordance, and they come to us because they want to improve their gradings, or the reliability and validity of their instructor gradings, and so it's pretty easy to work with them. They want to get better. That's the major topic, and it's a major thing we are there for, to improve this, and so therefore we don't have any issues, any reluctancies, and also the instructors are very keen on seeing where are we well aligned or not, and they like to see their progress from one year to the next one, so we can see a clear progress from companies doing Instructor Concordance continuously, that they improve from one year to the other one. So that's a very good thing that that they can see they get better. So that's one thing. And where are we working right now on? We want to improve the detailed, individualized analysis, so that we can say, okay, this instructor, for example, might be an outlier or is an outlier. That it's not only based on maybe a gut feeling, I think this instructor might be a little bit off track.
Right.
But we can really scientifically say, okay, this instructor is, from a scientific point of view, really an outlier. You have to talk with him. Maybe he didn't get it correctly,
right.
And just to realign.
And when do you hope to launch this particular solution?
It's planned for the next 2 months. So
okay.
at the beginning of next year it will be integrated, and then we can even more do even more individualized analysis.